All right, how we doing? I'm Cam with Ambioc. Today I just wanted to make a quick kind of update video to the last EDC video that I made. The last one that I made, I did not yet have a good mic setup, so it sounds really crappy. So I just kind of wanted to update that today and just kind of make it a little bit better. My EDC has changed a little bit, but not much. So I just kind of wanted to make a new one, a little bit better quality for you guys, and hopefully that'll be enjoyable for you. All right, so we'll go ahead and jump right into it. Like I said, my EDC has not changed very much at all. It's pretty much the same stuff. I did change my carry gun, but besides that, that's pretty much it. But at least now you can hear what I'm saying, right? So to start, as far as my pockets go, I've just got my wallet, nothing fancy. It's just kind of an old beat up, crappy leather wallet, right? I've got my truck keys. I don't really have anything of note on that, you know. I don't really keep anything special on my vehicle keys. Sometimes I have like one of those little SOG little knife keys that looks like a key, but then it flips out into a small knife. Sometimes I'll have one of those, but I kind of stopped carrying that because now I carry a little multi-tool with me. I do need to upgrade. This is just a little cheapo Dewalt Multi-Tool, but I find this actually to be very handy. It's really nice to have a couple little screwdrivers with you. I use the screwdrivers and the pliers the most. I don't really use knives or anything like that, but I actually find that to be pretty useful, especially the pliers and stuff. I mean, I use that actually pretty frequently. As far as my other pocket goes, normally I would be carrying my cell phone, but since I'm using that to record, obviously can't show you guys that, but it's again kind of nothing really fancy, just a Samsung S9, which of course lets me do most of what I need to do. I'm not really one of those fancy has to have a new phone every single year type people, right? I think that's pretty silly. And then in this pocket as well, I have a pretty slick little knife actually. So this is the Spyderco Para 3, and I have it converted to a quick draw, if you guys can see that. So I've actually got a friend with the local sheriff's office here who's kind of into innovative products and stuff like that, and he has designed a kit that he can 3D print with a very high quality 3D printer that he has, and basically add the thorn to catch your pants and the ring onto the end. So it's basically turns this into a karambit style. And if you saw the way that I drew it, it's actually a regular draw. And the reason that I have it like that is because I'm pretty much always opening boxes and stuff like that, right? And if I needed to use this for a combat application, I could in a pinch, right? But for the most part, I'm just using this kind of for everyday normal use. But I can also have it set up if I want, and it's just partially experimentation too, but I can also have this set up to where it's drawing in that karambit style if I want. So that's a cool, really cool item. I actually sell those out of my store here in Montrose. I'll potentially be selling those online eventually, but it's probably gonna take a little bit of time for me to set that up. Moving on, I've got this is the new EDC gun. So I've got the Sig P365, and I've got this in the Sig Blackpoint Holster. So this is the inside the waistband holster from Blackpoint that Sig I think did like a collaboration with basically. I really like this holster a lot. It's super low profile, it's very comfy, and the thing that I really like a lot about it is this kind of new claw attachment that you're seeing on holsters nowadays. Hopefully you guys can see that. What that does is basically that pushes against your belt and basically tucks that gun in closer to your body, so it's not wanting to kind of wig out and print on the side of your shirt. And I wasn't really sure how much I would like that, but I love it. It's incredible. It works really well. And that one's in 9mm, excuse me. That guy's in 9mm, so I was before carrying the newer version of the Shield, the 2.0 MP Shield in 45, and I've decided to go to 9mm just for a little bit easier shooting, as well as of course more rounds, all that good stuff. Right now I'm not carrying a spare mag. I usually do, but it's kind of, again, I'm kind of experimenting with kind of how minimalist I can go, and kind of experimenting with comfort versus what do I realistically need, right? If that makes sense. And, you know, you'll see some guys have 2 spare mags, all this stuff, and more power to you. I'm just kind of, as I go along, I'm finding myself kind of moving more and more along to that minimalist mentality, right? And kind of carrying less, but still carrying what I feel or what I consider to be pretty essential and necessary items, if that makes sense. So, you know, I've got 13 rounds here. In any sort of situation, 95 to 98% of situations that I might find myself in, that should be sufficient. And for now, I'm just playing with that. You know, I might start carrying another spare mag again eventually, but for now, that'll work. As far as the belt goes, you guys might have noticed with the shirt, I'm wearing a Core Essentials leather belt. I love this thing. If you guys don't know how these work or how the general track system belts work, Next belt has one as well. But all you do is you just push it, and it kind of works like a zip tie or like a snowboard binding. So it's just really easy to adjust and get it right where you want it, and it's super strong. And so you can just kind of micro adjust every day, or excuse me, all day long. So with a normal belt, we've got holes every inch, right? And you're kind of limited to that as far as how accurate it is, and also it's kind of a pain in the butt to loosen it or to retighten it. You got to take it out and then move it to the next one, put it back in. Where this, all you got to do is just push this, physically just push it to get it tighter. And if you want to loosen it, you just pop this guy in the bottom, and it's easy to get it right where you want it. So I love those belts. I also sell these out of my shop here. I pretty much don't sell anything out of my shop that I would not use myself, right? So the last item that I have for my everyday carry is an ankle trauma kit. I wear this every day. I think that it's a great solution for kind of a medical trauma kit because it's always with you. And that's super important when it comes to this stuff, because when accidents happen, they happen very fast. They happen when we least expect it. And if you go in to Walmart or something or whatever, and you have your trauma kit out in your vehicle, and then you go into Walmart and something happens, well, if it's something serious, you're not going to have time to go out to your vehicle and retrieve those items that you need. What's the point in carrying a tourniquet if someone can die in a minute or less from an arterial bleed, and you aren't able to get to that in time, right? So that's why I have this on my ankle. So this kit includes a pair of black nitrile gloves. It includes some hemostatic gauze, it's basically quick clot. It's got a emergency trauma dressing, kind of like a mini compression bandage. They call these like 4x4s. And this is pretty standard stuff that you're going to find in kind of any sort of basic trauma kit, right? Chest seal, which I kind of have folded up there to be able to fit in there. I have a Sharpie. And last but not least, the SOF tourniquet, which is pretty much what you need to have if you're going to be doing an ankle kit. It's about the only thing that's going to fit realistically. I mean, you could technically jam a cat tourniquet in there, but it's going to take up a lot of room. So that's kind of where that SOF tourniquet comes in handy. And then this is the holster itself. So it's just kind of got some different pouches. And I actually really find that to be pretty comfortable. I mean, I do end up kind of adjusting it and messing with it throughout the day. Obviously, it would be more comfortable to not be wearing it, but the same goes for all of this stuff, right? I mean, it'd be way easier to just not wear any of this stuff. Super comfortable. Right now, I'm not wearing any of it, and it's great. It feels awesome. When I get home, I can't wait to take all this stuff off. But, of course, that's kind of that small sacrifice that I'm willing to make if I am able to save my own life or somebody else's. It's totally worth it to me. So I'll keep wearing them, and these situations happen. I've had to use the Heimlich maneuver on a friend before. I almost killed myself with an angle grinder a couple of years ago, right? And at that point, I was not carrying this. It would have been nice if I was. Luckily, I didn't hit an artery, but I did put that angle grinder in my thigh, and that was not a good situation. But these things happen quite frequently. Just a few weeks, I guess it was probably a month ago, I was driving on the interstate, and there was an ambulance that was coming the other way. And then after about another 5 or 10 more minutes, kind of driving through this canyon, I started to see a bunch of cop cars. All the traffic was stopped, so I had to slow down pretty quickly. And as I was inching along, I was kind of looky-looing and saw you know, some police officers and emergency personnel that were walking around, and then I noticed there was a big pool of blood on the asphalt that was probably about that big. So that's not a good sign, right? And that just kind of made me think, you know, if I happened to have been driving through that area maybe, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes before and been there either when it just happened or, excuse me, as it was happening or had just happened, there's a chance that I might have been able to do something about that. There's a chance I might have even possibly been able to save that person's life if they died. I don't know if they made it or not, but if they did make it, they were in big trouble, right? So just stuff to be thinking about. It's, you know, we kind of all have to tailor our EDC to what works for us. But this is just kind of the things that I like to carry every day. I find it to be not too cumbersome. And I think that every single one of these items here are all pretty much very useful. I mean, I use them every day, hence the everyday carry, right? So thanks. Hope you guys enjoyed the updated version. Hopefully it's a little better with the new mic setup. So feel free to leave some criticism or let me know what you think, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.